sa pagdalo ng ating mga co-champion dito po sa ating inisyatibo ng Partnership for Enhanced Road Safety sa pangunguna ng ating attorney Alex Sabaton. Ito pong ating Philippine Road Safety Assembly 2023 ang siyang kauna-unahan dito po sa ating bayan. At kami po labis na nagpapasalamat dahil kayo'y kabahagi dito pong isang napaka-impactful event na ating pong pagsasama-samahan at pagsasalu-saluhan ang benepisyo tungo sa tagumpay.
1,760 ang batang namatay mula edad 1 hanggang 19 taong gulang. Hindi po yan marites, hindi po yan gawang biro. Yan po ay isang realidad na nangyayari sa kasalukuyan.
Sa lahat ng mga tagapangasiwa at mga dumalo sa araw na ito, ako po ay nagagalak para makasama ninyo sa pagsasagawa ng summit na ito na may temang Bagtayog sa Ligtas na Daan para sa kabataan, komunidad at inang bayan. Isang napakahalagang isyu na kailangan natin pagtulungan upang masiguro ang kaligtasan sa kalsada.
This is where our dreams begin.
Pero ngayon ho, nagtataka lang po tayo dahil nga yung road safety na kung kinikilala natin na ang ating kabutihan ay siguro manggagaling sa mga eskwelahan.
Department of Transportation, siya yung nangunguna po sa ating lahat sa paglutas itong problema po natin ng road safety, at kami po ay nakikiisa sa inyong lahat sa adhikain at mga gawain natin para maging ligtas ang ating mga daan at para mabawasan ang mga namamatay sa ating mga lansangan.
This is where our dreams begin. This is where our dreams begin.
Ito po ay bahagi ng ikapitong selebrasyon ng United Nations Road Safety Week na ginagawa po tuwing Mayo 12 hanggang 16.
Like what I said, one life is too many.
This is when the time is.
Sa kalsada, maraming bata na tinatawag natin street children. Isang tinatawag nating dangerous para sa kanila dahil na mga mods. Pagkatapos, pag nasagasaan, hindi napapansinin, pupulutin na lamang ng kung sino. Mahalaga ang buhay ng bawat tao dito sa Pilipinas at lalo pa ng bawat bata.
This is where our dreams begin. Alright now, this is where our dreams begin. There's a light in the dark. There's a hope. There's a spark in our hearts that won't go dim. This is where our dreams begin. This is where our dreams begin.
Numbers do not lie. Yung numero na nakita po natin, yan po ay hindi po numero yan.
Alright now,
These are individuals.
this is where our dreams begin.
Kailangan po sa sektor ng ating mga kabutihan manggaling ang ating lakas, ang ating puwersa, sulong ang advokasya para sa kaligtas na daan. Bantayo po para sa ligtas na daan ang panawagan ng Partnership for Enhanced Road Safety, at tanging road safety education lamang po ang magpapasulong ng ganitong klaseng advokasya. Magandang hapon po sa kanilang lahat.
Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. Ngayon ay November 19, 2024, 4:30 p.m. At nandito tayo sa Vantage Point Media. Ito po ang Idol sa Negosyo. This is a public service program that is meant to help aspiring entrepreneurs to recognize the worthiness of every profession, work, or vocation, and to develop micro, small, and medium enterprises. Ako po ang inyong host, Attorney Arnel Mateo, ang President ng Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Quezon City, the voice of business in Quezon City. Tayo po ay napapanood ngayon live sa Facebook at YouTube dito sa Vantage Point Media. Huwag niyo pong kalimutan, please like, share, and subscribe to our page. Ganun din po sa Idol sa Negosyo. Unang sa balita, last November 11 and 12, 2024, the PCCI Quezon City attended the Confederation of the Asia Pacific Chambers of Commerce and Industry Conference, the Asia Pacific Economic Forum in Singapore. Topics on MSME development, entrepreneurship, future of trade, and cross-border collaborations were discussed. And last November 16 to 2024, we visited Palawan. So it's my first time to visit El Nido, Palawan, and we went to El Nido Bayview Resort. So special thanks to our friends from Rotary, si Melvir Buela, Bamba Kamaya, and si Iya Hortz. And we got the chance to know the owner of the El Nido Bayview Resort, si Miss Dang Trinidad. Very inspirational ang kanyang story. And in 2025, she'll be one of our guests, and marami po tayong matutunan na sa kanya, from rags to riches. So sa ating mga manonood, kung kayo po ay merong katanungan sa araw na ito sa ating guest na ipapakilala ko in a while, mag-iwan lang po kayo ng message or chat sa ating Facebook page and sa YouTube. So punta po tayo ngayon sa ating panauhin. Makakasama natin ngayon ang CEO and co-founder ng Angkat PH. Let us all welcome Mr. Enzo Orfal. Hi, Enzo.
Good afternoon, attorney.
Hi, good afternoon.
It's
Kamusta?
such a good. It's such a privilege to be here today. No, what you've done itong Idol sa Negosyo, it's incredible.
Thank you.
I've been watching it for a while. I've been
Wow.
following you, and I've seen the journey and how you do it. So it's such a privilege to be here and to be invited here.
Thank you very much. Kami rin, sobrang saya na nandito ka kasi our viewers will learn so much from your entrepreneurship journey. Lahat ngayon na gusto magnegosyo, paano nila to gagawin ng tama, and ikaw bilang CEO ng Angkat PH, you're really one of those na gusto naming makilala at malaman ang storya. So syempre, bago naging Angkat PH, bago naging CEO si Enzo, paano ba yan nagsimula? Anong background mo?
Okay, nakakatawa naman to. So, ang maganda dito, I will just put it into perspective first, no? So, I'm a Christ follower first.
Mhm.
I'm a family man second, but also I'm a businessman third. Nung nag-start ako actually, like anybody who started with a business, actually prior, I was actually a nursing graduate.
Yes, nursing
Oo,
graduate.
so nursing graduate ako.
Nag-board exam.
Yes, of course,
Oo.
board exam tayo. So, luckily enough, we passed on the first exam.
Mhm.
So, and then I worked in corporate.
Mhm.
I worked in corporate for 3 years.
3 years.
And itong 3 years na to actually was very foundational to me.
Mhm.
Kasi the 3 years really established yung knowledge ko about working, corporate, and really helped me to be where I am right now. No?
So what kind of work do you do before sa corporate office?
Yeah, so I started actually in sales,
Mhm.
and eventually I worked in the Kaizen department.
Okay.
So when you say Kaizen department, this is process improvement. So I worked in a Japanese company, and we're lucky enough kasi meron sila talagang department especially just for process improvement.
Nice.
And ang maganda dito,
Mhm.
dito ako natuto kung paano to really systemize
Okay.
a lot of things.
Nung nandun ka sa department na yon, parang tumatakbo na yung isip mo na, this is how to do business.
Yes.
Mhm.
Controls, tsaka mga procedures,
Mhm.
tsaka making sure, ang maganda kasi doon sa may department na yon is it really taught me how to make sure that everything is on paper.
Mhm.
No? So from the biggest to the smallest things. Even just, alam mo yung mga tipong, how should you be cleaning your stuff? How should you be organizing your stuff to be
Okay.
able to be optimized? They think about the smallest things. And I think when it comes to business, you have to be like that as well. No, the smallest things, sometimes it's the smallest things that makes the biggest
Kasi
impact.
minsan parang ang iniisip natin, yung malaking problema.
Yes.
Paano siya ayusin?
Yes.
Then we neglect yung mga small things. Minsan yung mga tao sa baba, yun ang problema nila.
True.
So pag naging problema nila yun, affected ang business.
Totoo.
Yes.
Totoo yan. Tsaka, ang misconception, no, is when you're building a business, akala ng most of the people is you have to establish the big things kagad. When in fact, you have to establish the foundations first before you tackle the big things, the other
Yes.
departments, all of these things. Pag wala yung mga foundational things mo, like for example, a foundational thing would probably even your discipline
Yes.
with yourself. No, if you haven't had that, how can you be tackling the bigger things? So,
Pero before
Yeah.
before ka pumasok sa corporate,
Yes.
ganyan ka na rin ba mag-isip na parang
Ah.
nakikita mo sa sarili mo na I will be doing business?
absolutely. Alam mo, attorney, ilang beses ko iniyakan yan nung nag-nursing ako. Kasi I knew in my heart it wasn't really where I wanted to be. So I remember listening to podcast, 7 highly effective people, and also I was listening to a lot of business podcast back then, no. And I knew in my heart that I wasn't for nursing. So kahit na muntikan na akong iluwal, itakwil, no, na kasi hindi ko pinursu yung nursing.
Oo.
Sabi ko, in the long run, alam ko this is really where I want to be.
Pero sa family nyo, meron bang nasa business?
Actually, no. I'm actually the first generation businessman. So ako lang actually nag-business no
I see.
sa amin. So by the grace of the Lord talaga.
Pero sino nag-influence sa'yo na ito yung gusto kong puntahan, na magnenegosyo ako?
You know, early on, I understood talaga yung math behind it eh. Kasi I was figuring things, what I really wanted, where I really wanted to be. And I knew working 9-to-5 job wouldn't equate to where I want to be. So, simple math, no? Parang pag inisip mo, kung gusto mo bumili ng 1 milyon na bahay pero ang sweldo mo is only 15,000, how are you be able to bridge that?
Okay.
So, for me, when I knew about nursing, ito yung parang peak ng nursing, daming
Yes,
nursing.
oo.
So sabi ko, hindi ko maaabot yung pangarap ko pag ito yung pinursu ko. That's one of the things, but one of my major inspiration back then is I knew I had a friend back then, no? Na he was a bit of a maverick risk taker siya when it
Okay.
comes to business. And I knew, nakita ko yung parang opportunities na pinasok niya that flourished and the ones that didn't as well. So, it gave me the confidence na, uy, kung kaya niya, siguro this is something I can do as well.
Oo nga, maganda, no? So parang even when you started your corporate work, very
Yes.
intentional ka na
True.
I will learn something from here, no? And pumasok ka doon dahil thinking na you will do your own business later on.
Absolutely. Kung ano na nga lang, halos kinuha ko lahat ng mga manuscript na kaya ko kunin, saka yung mga the way I was supposed to go about it. Kasi sabi ko, I knew eventually I will be using this practices. But more importantly, siguro yung structure for myself. Yung 9 to 5, that I need to work from 9 to 5.
Saka maganda yun yung kinuwento mo kanina na parang you listen to podcasts.
Yes.
Makikinig ka ng mga
Yes.
mga talks,
Yes.
no? So malaking tulong 'yan sa mga aspiring entrepreneurs.
Like this, itong Idol sa Negosyo, I think this brings so much value to a lot of people.
Yes.
Especially now, kasi ngayon, there's a lot of noise na telling you this is how you should be, this is how you should go about business without really having a backing. Wala siyang credibility
Yes.
behind it. No? People are giving you advice pero have they really are they qualified to give you that certain
Yes.
advice?
Tama.
So, ikaw attorney, you're more than qualified. You're more than qualified to give this show and this advice, no?
So, 'di ba, nasa corporate
Yes.
work ka, ano yung deciding point na sabi mo, okay na to. I will end my work sa office na. Magnenegosyo na ako.
So, nakakatawa dyan kasi it took me 3 years to save yung parang 100,000, first 100,000 ko yan. So, it took me 3 years. So, imagine, I really had to save, no? Tapos, nung I had 100,000, I didn't exactly jump off the, hindi naman ako tumalon kagad, tapos nag-start na ng business. I had to do it slowly. So, I started importing, no, phone cases pa back then.
Phone cases.
Yes, phone cases. Kasi yun yung parang in before
Ibang klase pa yung phone dati.
Oo, tsaka ang maganda nun sa may in-import ko nun, it was all the way from Europe. So it was a bit different from what everybody was having here. And you know, the first shipment actually went through. The second shipment actually went through. And I feel eventually that I needed to transition to that full time. So
habang nag-work ka, talagang inaaral mo na rin to do.
Tirinay ko na rin muna.
Through yun, yung phone cases.
Oo. Alam mo, actually, I'll interject here, no? Kasi a lot of people think it's one or the other when they're pursuing a business, no? Na kailangan, uy, wala akong trabaho, ito lang dapat focus ko. Tapos, ito na yung i-pursue ko. You know, a lot of people actually go to me about business advices. I always tell them, try it first.
Yes.
Diba? Kasi a lot of people, inuunahan na nila pero they haven't even tried. Wala ka pang proof of concept.
Yes.
Wala ka pang, ang tawag ngayon dyan is minimum viable product. Diba? So, hindi mo pa siya natatry. Yeah.
So yung marami tayong kilala rin na parang habang katrabaho, sa gabi nagtitinda sila.
Oo.
No? Yung mga ganyang bagay eh. So, habang nag-work ka, you're doing yung
Yes.
importation.
Actually,
Trading, parang ganyan.
Actually, nakakatawa nga kasi nung una ko pang ginagawa dyan is bumibili pa ako ng mga, alam mo yung electric fan ng mga parang, yung electric fan.
Yes, yung sinusuot, portable.
Pero back then kasi, it wasn't as big as it is now. So dati, kasama ko pa nung nanay ko, pumunta kami sa Divisoria, tapos binibenta ko sa office mates ko. So, there was an entrepreneurial mindset already, early on, but I knew it was just for the daily things. Hindi siya yung parang pang large scale lang talaga. It was more of like, for me, it was a learning process eh. Parang yun yung tuition fee ko.
Yes.
To really understand these things, to really establish, okay, so how do I do accounting? How do I do profit and loss? How do I do yung parang yung net profit, gross profit, transportation? ganyan.
Anong sabi ng family mo?
Nung ginagawa ko yon, nanay ko sobrang supportive naman. So siya yung bumibili.
So walang side comments na mag-focus ka na lang sa
Sa
work,
trabaho.
di ba?
Wala naman.
Yeah, kasi yun minsan yung problema ng mga gusto mag-business.
Yes.
Pag walang support from the family, di ba?
That's true.
So ito maganda, when you do your business, kailangan everyone is on board na
Of
isa kayo ng
course.
direksyon.
Of course. You know, I always say, when you're pursuing a business, it's like jumping off a building and then building the parachute while you're going down. So, you know, when you say that, sometimes you're not even sure if you can build the parachute while going down. Kasi eventually, if you don't have enough runway, you splat down and the business fails. Eh.
Yes.
And, you know, if you don't have that kind of planning beforehand as in a support system that allows you to get into that, to build the parachute, you will definitely splat down. And that's a point that where everybody would fall into.
Yes.
No?
So itong ginagawa mo, ito yung nakatulong sa iyo to save
Yes.
yung 100,000.
Yes, yung initial.
Okay. So itong una mong kapital.
Yes, I would
100,000.
say, yes.
Okay. So saan mo siya ngayon ginamit?
Nasaan na siya? So from that, yun, nag-import ako. So I think I spent siguro initially mga 30,000. 30,000 became 60,000. 60,000 became 120. Eventually, it becomes 240. And from there, actually, nagkaroon ako ng problema. Kasi nung mga parang medyo lumalaki na, that's where I experienced yung parang mga customs, mga importation, mga ganyan. So it was my first real experience of how hard importing and bringing all these things.
May tumutulong sa iyo.
Back then, wala.
Nag-iisa ka.
Oo, so kaya
Pero you
nga,
have your staff.
back then actually, it was more of myself. Kasi wala pa akong staff noon eh.
Okay.
So this was more on like effort ko lang to eh. Kasi ako lang naman yung nag-aano ng business eh. And kasi syempre naive ka rin eh.
Oo.
Hindi mo rin naman alam yung ano, even though as much as you try to learn about it, there's always gonna be lessons in the business, no? So naipit, of course, sa customs, and I had to pay a big fee. And then I remember back then I couldn't afford to pay the big fee. So basically I had to parang ano na lang.
Pero that time, ano ka pa, no? Hindi ka pa angkat.
Hindi pa.
Oo.
I started
on your personal capacity.
personal capacity pa lang yan. Pero from there kasi nakita ko talaga kung paano yung pera. Medyo nakahawak na rin ako ng malaking pera. Nakita ko na siya how it moves, how fast it can go. So medyo doon ko na-realize na wait, this is something that's an opportunity that can be scaled.
Yeah.
No?
Pero ang ganda, no? Kasi parang ano eh, you're so focused. Yun yung parang base sa kwento mo ngayon, parang very focused ka eh, na parang may math ka eh, parang kalkulado mo yung mga galaw mo eh.
Gutom tayo eh. Alam mo, gutom na literally kasi I didn't have a very big, wala kaming safety net eh. So basically, if I fail, it's output to me. I didn't come from a rich family na, kunyari, bibigyan ako ng kapital, itong ganun. Nung pagkatapos ko ng college, wala na eh. Talagang wala nang support eh. So, pag hindi ko ginawa yung mga kailangan kong gawin, talagang magugutom eh. So, the way I saw it, it's for me back then, I needed to succeed. Like I was backed up against the wall. If I don't succeed, kasi nag-resign na ako by then, no, ng mga latter parts. If I don't succeed, wala na, tapos na.
So, paano ang work ethics nung nagsisimula ka pa lang?
That's ako, sasabihin ko, I'll be honest, that's the hardest. You know, building a work ethic and discipline. Kasi, you know, the good thing about having a corporate job, it just gives you structure.
Yes.
And, you know, that's also the purpose of going to school, education. Kasi it gives you a structure that you can follow.
Kahit pa paano, meron ka ng ano, may information ka na magagamit.
Yes, oo, also. When you start a business on your own, and you're a businessman for the first time, there's no structure, there's no blueprint to follow.
Yes.
Especially at my time kasi wala pa yung mga AI, ChatGPT eh. So, you had to build your own structures for yourself. So, how did I build my structure back then? Usually, it's the mundane things eh. Probably you have routines for yourself. You
Yes.
drink the coffee, you work out, you meditate.
Oo.
Yung talagang making sure that you ready yourself to be the best person. Back then, employee, that's how I think of myself. To be the best employee, to propel myself to pursuing all of these things. Yun, siguro yun yung structure na binild ko.
Masasabi mo ba nung nagsisimula ka, parang may balanse? Na may work-life balance agad? O talagang it's all work?
Walang balance, no? Ako, kasi yung, for me naman, I was lucky enough kasi nung time na yon, ano naman ako nun, out of work naman, in a sense, no? Kaya yung focus ko really is business talaga. So, 100% focus ako doon. Tapos, I was lucky enough kasi yung family ko naman, hindi naman sila yung parang nag-expect so much, no? Kasi everybody, actually, my sister and my brother, they were doing their own hustles rin as well. Kaya hindi yan yung mga tipong, may pinapaaral kami, gano'n. Hindi naman siya, ako for me, hindi siya naging parang hadlang to really pursuing where I wanted to be. But yeah, yun yung naging ko.
So yung talagang focus ka. Ang tulog mo nun?
Yan yung pag businessman ka kasi, since wala kang sometimes structure,
Yes.
hindi mo na alam kung yung minsan ako natutulog ako ngayon 2 AM, 3 AM kasi that's when the inspiration strikes.
Kasi parang minsan pag nasimulan mo siya, parang if you're planning something, di ba?
Yeah.
When you're writing your thoughts, di ba?
Yeah.
Parang hindi mo malaman, alas 3 na,
Oo.
alas 4 na, di ba?
Tsaka ito yung ako for me ito yung most exciting part before kasi alam mo talaga pag hindi mo siya natapos or hindi mo nagawa, paano na?
Pero dumaan ka sa process na may business plan ka.
Of course. Of course. Of course. You know, ako number 1 yan. If you plan to fail, you fail to plan. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail.
Tama.
No? So everything kasi ito rin yung parang misconception of a lot of people going into business, no, is they can just talon lang sila.
Yes, bahala na.
Motivation
Diba?
lang,
Yes.
inspiration lang.
Uh-huh.
Hindi. You have to make sure that everything is working for you in a sense na if you have to plan to make it better, to increase your chances of making it successful, do the planning. Do the hard work first kasi yan yung parang foundational to be building. Hindi naman yan yung pwedeng, uy, may motivation ka lang.
Oo.
Paano po when the motivation fails na? Diba?
So yung angkat, paano na to naging angkat?
Okay. So, after that, nag-logistics ako, yung parang intra-island logistics. And in that phase, that's where I really fell in love with logistics talaga. No? Yung parang transporting, tapos yung having margins, stocking, ganyan. Doon ko na medyo talagang na-draw in talaga ako. When the pandemic hit, that business, we had to close it down. No? Lucky enough, that was also the boom of the e-commerce. No? So, by 2020, I had a business that had an import license already, and then I had a lot of friends who were importing through me. No, by 2020, I've been doing it for the past two years already. I was lucky enough to be partnered up with a really good shipping company. Tapos that's basically how it started. I called up my friend, my customer back then. Sabi ko, Nikki, this is something that's profitable, but I don't have the kasi ang kailangan ko na siya nun, yung partner ko kasi may MBA siya nun.
Okay.
So ako nun, by then I'd already established a couple of businesses. I had the risk, I knew how to go about it, but yung technical know-how, sabi ko I need somebody who will do the proper accounting, do the proper back end. So I called him up. By then he was already importing through me for 2 years. And sabi niya, sige, let's go.
Meron din siyang business.
Yes. So his business back then was actually yung mga Shopee Lazada shops.
Okay.
Oo. And through Angkat, dun siya nagpapa-import ng mga products.
Okay. So, doon na sinimulan niyo yung angkat.
Yes.
So, yung importance ng yung finding the right partner,
True.
finding the right business partner.
True.
Paano mo na-desisyonan na siya yung gusto kong maging business partner?
Good question.
Oo.
Ako, for me, number one, self-awareness.
Mhm.
No, you have to be brutally honest with yourself of who you are and what you can bring to the table. Kasi a lot of people, they look at other people to find, to complete them, to find different things. You have to understand, ano muna yung kayang ibigay sa table, what can you bring, and then what you need afterwards. So for me, I had to be brutally honest with myself. I started businesses, pero yung technical know-how nun, yung about really yung accounting, yung parang business planning, yung P&Ls, mga ganyan. I didn't have the background back then. So, if I wanted to go into a corporate professional business, I had to bring in professional people as well.
Yes. Oo.
So,
nagkaroon ng desisyon na meron akong kakulangan. No? So, self-awareness na meron akong kakulangan and makikita ko to sa isang tao na pwede kong makasama.
yes. And it wasn't easy kasi para yung para yung pag nag-partner ka with somebody, para kayong kasal.
Yes. Saka mahirap maghanap ng business partner kasi syempre dapat yung direction nyo, nagkakasundo kayo.
True.
So, paano mo nakita na siya na yon, di ba? Sabi mo, meron siyang MBA. Diba?
Oo.
So, na-observe mo rin yung business niya.
Actually, classmates kami ng college
Okay.
So, and then the whole time that I was doing different businesses, pinapanood ko na siya from afar. Kasi he was pursuing payments back then, he was pursuing different, he went to corporate as well. So, even before actually I was offering him different things already. Hey, you wanna partner up with this? Kasi I knew he was capable of doing that. Napa-oo ko lang siya nung nung matagal na panliligaw, pero napa-oo ko siya nung pandemic na. Kasi parang everything had to slow down and then it made sense.
So, siya, nag-angkat na rin siya na full-time.
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm lucky enough to be with a partner that was very kasi kami ako I'm very passionate and he's very passionate as well. And the thing about it, when it comes to partnerships and even relationships, no,
Yes.
it's not sometimes how hard you fight; it's how hard you fix the problems, no. So we fight really hard, but also when we do know how to communicate to fix problems.
Okay.
Oo.
Maganda yan, no? Sa pagbabalik natin, alamin natin mabuti yung storya ng partnership ni Enzo at ni Nikki at kilalanin natin ang Angkat PH.
Ito para sa kabahayan at kabuhayan. Makipreno ay narito para sa inyo. Samahan kami mga arkitekto, makipagkwentuhan, makinig ng mga payo, makibahagi sa talakayan. Para sa kabahayan at kabuhayan, mga entrepreneurs ay para sa kaayusan ng mga gusali.
Walang tunay na nag-aalala sa iyong kalusugan ng isipan hanggang ito ay maging galit at frustrasyon, at biglang ikaw ay itinuturing na masama. At pagkatapos, hinuhusgahan ka ng mga tao.
Ang Pilipino ay may dignidad. Dapat dito sa loob ng sarili nating bayan, bayani tayo.
Tayo ang nagbibigay ng direksyon kung anong buhay meron tayo. So bawat isa, tayo'y super ng ating buhay.
Ay ngayon na palakasin po o sumuporta po tayo sa mga programang pagkabuhayan.
Sa haba ng buhay natin, nag-contribute tayo sa Pilipinas. Nagtrabaho tayo, hindi ba? Nag-alaga tayo ng mga anak, hindi ba? Bumoto tayo. Yan ay contribution natin sa ating bansa. Kami mga kaibigan, wala kaming pera, pero meron kaming ideolohiya.
Yan! Mabuhay kayo! Mabuhay kayo! Mag-driver, sweet lover. Sa BTS, mag-driver, bayaning tsuper. Mag-driver, sweet lover. Sa BTS, mag-driver, bayaning tsuper.
Di ba minsan may makikita tayo yung pedestrian crossing, PEDSING ang nakalagay.
Parang nasa China lang
Oh, yun, nakala ko, nung una akala ko dahil ano ba yan, China inspired yung kanyang project na yan. But imagine mo, PEDSING. Alam mo sa murang
naging question din sa akin
kaisipan
dati
ng mga
yan,
kabataan, dapat hindi ganun. Dahil ako, halimbawa, kamakailan lang galing ako ng ibang bansa, no? Talagang buong nakasulat yung pedestrian crossing. Sa atin, pagdating dito, PEDSING, meron pang railroad na crossing na hindi mo maintindihan. Pero, alam mo, ito yung mga small things na sa palagay natin, na overlook natin, but we are distorting the very
Napaka-importante nun, attorney.
Napaka-importante
Akala
yan.
mo lang.
The most prostituted political system, electoral political system natin sa Pilipinas ay yung party list system. Supposedly, the Constitution provides that for the marginalized sector, for the underrepresented, pero ano nangyari dyan? Ginawang extension ng mga traditional politician. Pag wala ng malagyan sa kuya, sa kapatid, dahil puno na yung mga district and everything, tayo-tayo ng party list. No? So, ito yung sinasabi natin na this most prostituted. Ngayon, ang tanong sa akin, alam mo palang most prostituted, bakit binabalak mo pang pumasok yan? Pero kasi ang punto namin ni Colonel, bakit? Hahayaan na lang ba natin na mamayagpag yung ganong mali? Well, and at the same time, we leave it to the people kung ipagkakatiwala nila yung kanilang posisyon sa atin. At dapat na ang mangyayari sa Pilipinas na tinitingnan natin dito, dapat yung accountability. Pag wala kang ginawa, dapat hindi ka na nauupo dyan or dapat...
Magandang hapon po. Nandito tayo muli sa Idol sa Negosyo kasama ang CEO ng Angkat PH, Mr. Enzo Marfal.
Good afternoon.
Yan. So, kanina pinag-uusapan namin ni Enzo yung paano nagsimula ang Angkat. So, meron tayong story na in between di ba?
Yes.
Doon sa parang importation and trading ka and Angkat. Parang sa gitna nun, parang meron ka bang tinayo na negosyo pa? Yes.
Actually, 2018 we started this bottling company. So we were lucky enough to have this business. Tapos provide sa amin yung TBS, Territorial Butter Supplier kami ng Mimaropa region. So initially, we started with Laguna. Meron kaming cleaning operation sa Laguna. But when we were provided the Territorial Butter Supplier in Mimaropa region, we opened up in Romblon and Marinduque.
Pero paano ka nag-jump dyan? Kasi parang, di ba, you're doing logistics.
Logistics yun. Yeah.
So, logistics din siya?
Yes.
Okay.
So, ayun. So, logistics rin siya kasi in a way, we had to consider yung mga parang intra-island siya logistics in a way na supply chain kasi siya.
Okay.
Attorney. So, if you imagine, para lang makakota ka, you have to make sure that it's 3 truckloads per week. So anything less or hindi ka na profitable yung business kasi big quantity siya.
Yes. So how long did that business last?
So we started it 2018. It was profitable for a good year. Profitable for a good year. Pero yung profitable na yun, we were happy talaga. I would say just before the pandemic.
Pero alam mo minsan, di ba, pag kumikita ka na, ang tao may tendency siya na i-enjoy na niya yun, yung kinikita niya, dahil alam niya na we're doing big, let's invest on different things, let's buy. So, ikaw, anong ginawa mo? Nung sabi mo na...
Luho! I'll be honest.
Nag-reward ka sa sarili mo.
First naman, of course, bumili muna kami ng mga yung kailangan namin. Nag-establish kami ng warehouses, mga ganyan. Ang wrong ko noon, actually, learning ko to kasi these are the things na I didn't have growing up So, siguro, yan yung naging mistake ko. And for me, lesson learned yan Kasi yung mga early ons ko, investments ko noon, pag iniisip ko ngayon, parang mali So, I wish I could have put it in different things.
So, yung business ngayon, na bottling, is existing pa ba siya o ano
we had to close it down.
Okay. So, bakit siya na-close down?
So, if you imagine, since I talked about Romblon and Marinduque, islands to So, you can't exactly, nung nag-pandemic, everything closed down
Yes.
So, even the ports, Roro. So, if you have a business that yung profit margin mo depends on the number of quantities that is going in and out of these islands, it can't be sustainable. Kunyari, nung pandemic, it was only 1 shipment a month that was going through Roro. Lucky ka pa kung masampa yung load mo sa barko. So, for siguro mga 6 to 8 months after the closing down ng March, we tried to sustain it pa. Pero it wasn't really, it doesn't make sense anymore.
Very difficult, Very difficult yung times na yun na parang feeling mo, papunta na tayo sa katapusan, di ba? So, saan dumating yung point na ito na yung tamang time that we have to close this down?
Ako, I really think the Lord really humbled me at that time kasi isipin mo, when we got the money, yung mga naging investments ko were wrong I would say, nag-invest ako sa club, nag-invest ako sa mga cars, yung mga things that are very worldly, So, when the pandemic hit, all of those things,
Wala nang
wala
value.
nang value. Kasi
Yes.
imagine mo, a club,
Oo.
di ba?
Hindi ka makakalabas eh. Hindi mo magagamit.
Oo, hindi mo magagamit. Tsaka, yung sa amin naman, kasi I felt I had an obligation to sustain the business even when it closed down. Kasi if you imagine, these are islands, no? So even in those islands, yung basic necessities nga, hindi sila nakakakuha eh.
Oo.
As compared to us here in Manila, kahit lockdown, pwede kang magpa-deliver,
Oo.
pwede kang kumuha-kuha. Doon, islands talaga.
Oo.
Mhm.
So yung how hard was it for you na i-close ko na to?
Back to zero. Attorney, kasi nag-back to zero ako nun. Tapos, I remember, syempre, medyo umokay na naman. Naka-BM ako, tapos, nagde-deliver na ako ng alcohol nun. Nagbibigay ako, alam mo yung talagang anything that I could get my money out of. As in, na zero ako. So, the decision to really close it down was when I really, wala na rin akong pang-sustain doon. Kasi, may pinapasweldo kami doon. I think we were paying around more than 200,000 a month.
So pag masakit na, parang pag talagang nadidrain ka na, ano mo na, no? You have to close it down.
Oo, tsaka ang problem kasi nung pandemic, there was no end in sight. We didn't expect it to be that long. So we thought it was only going to be a couple of weeks, days.
Yes.
But eventually, it became 2 years. No? So, for me, ano pa talaga siya, battle na, hindi, kaya pa to. Kasi for the longest time, I had to hang on to it. Kasi ito lang yung alam ko back then. So, talagang really, by the grace of the Lord, talagang really taught me, humbled me na, mali yung pinag-aaral mo rin. Ni-reset rin naman ako.
Oo. So immediately ba, nung nag-close down ka, nag-jump ka na to angkat? O parang, mayroon ka munang self-reflection na, wait lang,
Mabilis, attorney. Mabilis ang transition. Kasi pag hindi ako nag-isip, alam mo yung parang iniisip ko na kung saan ko kukunin yung next. Pambayad ko sa ganito, pambayad ko sa ganyan. So I had to be really quick. Kasi hindi naman ako yung tipong I could afford to just go back at home if everything fails. Wala naman kasi.
Parang mag-stress leave, di ba?
Oo, wala. Attorney, wala. So,
alam, uso yan sa generation ngayon eh. Parang pag yung iba nga after graduation may may pahinga sila
may
na ilang months, di ba?
Leap year, oo.
Yes,
for me, hindi eh. Kasi I had to really work kagad. I had to make something. Kasi kung hindi, I wouldn't be able to just... actually nun, ang iniisip ko pa nga nun, ano ang next, mababayaran ko ba yung next rent? Yung kuryente, yung ganito.
Nung nangyari na yun, kino-consider mo ba yun a failure? Yung time na yun?
There was really no time to think, attorney. Kasi I remember that time I was so stressed kasi imagine mo I had to close yung main business, but of course there were other businesses rin, yung bar, yung other things na akala mo andyan lang palagi.
So lahat yun closed din?
Lahat yun closed. So kaya nga umabot nga ako sa point na nagde-deliver ako ng mga alcohol, ng mga parang medical supplies, mga ganyan. Kasi talagang walang opportunity talaga nun.
So gaano kalapit yung pagitan nung nag-close down ka nung businesses mo, then nag-open ng angkat?
Siguro mga a month.
Oh, bilis.
A month, I remember.
Yes.
Kasi I remember back then, everybody was looking to, ang ginagawa, middleman pa sila eh. Selling, ganyan. Luckily enough, because of that business, I had an import license. Because of the main business. No?
Okay.
So that allowed me to actually import things. Kaya naman medyo nakapag-pivot kagad ako.
Okay.
No? Compared to a lot of other people na, ang maganda pa nun kasi may business registration na ako.
Yes.
I just had to put that business under that name for a while.
Pero noong time na yon, parang do you have to go through the same process na mag-business plan ulit ako? O in-adapt mo lang yung nauna?
Definitely. Ako, for me, it was very foundational. Actually, how we started sa Google Drive eh. So, we put in what we plan to do, the business plan. Tapos, we put in marketing materials. We had to see it first, how we were going to be presenting it. Mission, vision, goal, everything. Kasi as early as there, we wanted to align it where we wanted to be.
So, before you started angkat, talagang nag-decide kayo, ito yung vision, mission, and goal
Mga
namin.
ano yun, nung nag-usap na kami ng partner ko, siguro meron kaming mga 1 month before nilaunch na namin siya publicly. Kasi actually, the business was sustaining itself kasi a lot of my friends were importing through me rin as well. So yan yung era na madami rin nagpapa-import ng mga face mask, ng mga gloves, ng mga
gamot.
ganyan. Oo, gamot.
Yes.
Yun. Pero akin nun, mostly mga ganun, face mask, mga ganyan.
Okay.
So, since may import license nga ako noon, we were lucky enough we can service that.
Okay.
Oo.
So ano ba yung ano yung naging vision and mission ng Angkat?
Angkat. Ako, for me until now, ang mission pa rin ng Angkat is to really empower people. To really make them know that this is you're capable of doing this, establishing these things. Ang big misconception kasi when it comes to the importing scene, it's ano siya na nakakalula.
Yes.
Na parang it's very intimidating to get into. No.
Merong conception na mahal.
Oo.
Diba?
Tsaka madami kasi sa ating red tape. No.
Yes.
So very intimidating siya to get into.
So yung ganyang goal mo na to empower people.
Yeah.
So very important 'yun, na when you do your business, it's not only about you earning and making a profit, but also helping yung public.
Absolutely.
Diba? So meron ka nakitang problem.
Absolutely.
Diba? And yung problem na yun yung sinolve mo.
Yes, absolutely. And also on top of that, attorney, kasi I was a product of being helped as well. No? I think in our Rotary, ito very exemplified to. Kitang-kita natin to eh. So I was a product of that help and I knew how much value it gave me. So it's only right for me to share that value back to other people. Kasi because of that help that I received, my whole family and the community around me actually tumaas rin eh. You know? So if you imagine, if you can multiply that to a lot of people, leverage what you know, and impart that knowledge to other people, imagine how you can really build the community with that. So
sa mga nanonood, yung kanilang conception na mahirap magpadala ng goods, ano yung sasabihin mo sa kanila?
Magpaangkat kayo.
Magpaangkat kayo.
No, of course, do your due diligence. Number 1 talaga before you get into any kind of business. Do your due diligence. No. Also, math. Math matters so much. You can't just jump into a business thinking na it will solve itself. You can be really passionate about what you want to do. Pero if it doesn't make sense when it comes to the math, it will never make sense. Kahit kanong trabaho mo pa ilagay mo dyan, kahit anong pupursige mo, if the math doesn't add up, kunyari, bibili mo siya ng piso, bebenta mo siya ng 2 pesos, pero yung transport cost mo is already 1 peso, kahit na kano kasipag dyan, it won't make sense. So, always make sure, do your due diligence. Tapos, the math has to add up, but more importantly, you have to do it with the Lord.
Tama.
Yeah.
So ngayon, anong mga services ba na ino-offer nyo sa Angkat?
So number 1, we do sea freight. That's our main business. So our sea freight is mostly in Southeast Asia, but we do accommodate all over the world. No? Our sea freight is for loose cargo and full container load. We have an air freight with a couple of locations. So we have Hong Kong, we have Taiwan, we have Korea, we have China, of course. Tapos we do end-to-end, door-to-door services. So if you have any kind of shipments that you want even to be picked up, tapos delivered to your door, we can do that as well.
Okay.
So we have partners that have allowed us to really do that. We have 3PL partners as well, yung last mile, to really accommodate that.
Okay. Yung iba nagtatanong sila na pag ganyan na magpapa-shipment ka, kailangan ba malaking volume? Or okay lang ba na konti lang?
Konti lang, no? And this is the beauty about yung ginagawa naming service eh. Kasi we allow you to actually minimize your risk before you get into the bigger, itong malalaki na talaga, before you get even the import licenses, even before you get all those things. You can try out the market first with just little shipments. Pa-air freight ka lang, to the allowable, maximum allowable, and then pag kunyari medyo okay, this is something that makes sense already, then you can import yung talagang container loads na.
Okay. Yung Angkat pala, saan yan ang galing? Bakit siya naging Angkat?
Angkat is actually a Tagalog term.
Yes.
Actually ano yan, to lift. To lift siya. But deeper is to really import rin siya. Iangkat mo.
Yes.
Iaangkat
Oo,
mo.
oo.
Oo.
Tapos yung logo nyo pula, di
Oo.
ba?
Actually, ang tagline nga namin is lifting your business forward.
So inaangkat mo siya, di ba?
Oo.
Maganda.
Yeah.
So yun, no? Yung angkat, ano ba yung mga ano ngayon? Is it a perfect business o meron ka ring mga problema na hinaharap?
I think with any kind of business, you're always there are always problems, no. Siguro sa amin, we're having a hard time really scaling, no. Kasi when you talk about scaling and growth, those are different things. Growth is, for example, a fisherman has one boat. How can you maximize it?
Yes.
That's basically growth.
Oo.
When you scale it, you buy 5 boats.
Yes.
No.
Kasi marami ka nang iaangkat.
Oo. So ngayon, I think ang hardship kasi namin sa scaling is really finding the customers. So before you actually open a new sector, a lot of people are clamoring, uy, magbukas ka ng Japan, magbukas ka ng ganito,
Yes,
Vietnam,
oo.
magbukas kayo ng Thailand, ganyan. Pero, would
Baka
it make
walang demand.
sense? Oo, would it make sense for us? No? Probably, you can probably get, a couple of clients, but will it sustain the business?
Yes. So you have to study the market.
Of course, yes.
So hindi pwedeng basta ano lang.
Oo,
di ba?
bukas ka
Dito
lang.
ako.
Kasi it might cost you more.
So ngayon, nasa ng mga locations?
Yeah. So we have Hong Kong, we have Taiwan, we have Korea, we have China. And for all the other locations, you can import through us, pero hindi siya open warehouse. So it's not a regular shipment. So we have to, of course, comply with the customs and give us the requirements before we import it.
Pero yun, per country, may kanya-kanyang rules yan. So, syempre, meron silang mga compliance requirements din na
Absolutely.
magkakaiba. Diba? So, challenge din yun sa inyo. So, paano mo yun, paano mo hinahandle yun?
Kaya nga hindi kami nag-e-export. No, kasi exporting is exactly that, no. If you're exporting, you have to comply with the countries that you're complying with.
Yes.
Maganda naman sa amin, yung compliance namin kasi
Puro
we're-
papasok.
Papasok.
Yes,
So ang
oo.
compliance mo has to comply with the Philippines.
So, pag palabas, wala kayong problema.
Oo.
Palabas ng mga countries na yun.
Oo. Kasi sila naman, may compliance sila naman yan eh. May compliance
Yes.
part kami doon eh.
Oo.
Kasi pag mag-export ka kasi, imagine mo before, kunyari, iba ang laws sa US.
Yes.
Iba ang laws sa Australia, sa Europe, for all those things. So, we find it kaya ang forte namin talaga is really importing.
Pero is it something na everyone can do? Yung ganyang business, sa tingin mo?
I wouldn't, if I had probably a chance to pursue another business, probably, ako kasi for me, nakikita ko kasi how much value we can bring to the community eh. Na when you really, ito yung parang nagja-jumpstart na mga small na mga SMEs, tsaka mga individuals to actually
Yes.
start their business. No. I would say before you get into it kasi there's a lot of legalities.
Yes.
And also more importantly liabilities, no? Kasi you're handling shipments from other countries. So you don't want to be ikaw pala yung ginagamitan ng mga dinadaanan ng mga illegal things, no? So yung compliance namin, we make sure that we don't allow that, yung mga things like that. So I wouldn't say it's easy, but it's also always worth it.
Yeah, saka challenging.
Yes.
I think yun ang beauty ng business eh. Talagang kahit anong business na puntahan mo, may challenges yan.
Yes.
Diba? And yung saan pupunta yung business,
Yeah.
depende rin sa'yo eh, kung paano ka gagalaw.
Oo.
Diba? Ayan.
And it also starts with the leadership.
Yes.
The leadership talaga. Kasi ako, and this is really inward sometimes eh. I knew that since I'm the current CEO, that I know if there are failures within the whole organization, that it's probably a lack of leadership in certain points as well. So, very, actually critical ako.
Diba, dalawa kayo na business
Yes.
partner, diba? So, ano yung normally parang nagiging debate nyo bilang may business partner ka?
Si Nicky kasi he's the operations eh. So, he's more of like the day-to-day.
Okay.
And ako naman, it's more of the direction.
Yes.
Tsaka really establishing, ito yung parang, this is how we should be. So of course, sa amin, and this is very subjective sometimes. Kasi syempre, how can you quantify yung work that is being put in by your partner and yourself?
Okay.
No? And this has, actually a lot of people have been questioning me about this. How do you quantify yung value that your partner brings to the table? Diba? Kasi when you talk about your employees, you can put them KPIs, KRAs,
Yes,
diba?
yes.
But when it comes to your partner, how do you do that? Diba? So kami naman, we've established certain things that we're responsible over, that if, for example, hindi siya nag-fail siya, it's totally because of yung who's responsible. So for example, I led ngayon yung IT development namin, yung back-end development namin. And when I say I lead it, ako yung totally responsible. And I can't blame him if something goes wrong for that. Kasi I'm taking the helm of really leading that.
Yes.
And same with him, when I put him in charge of ito yung ayusin mo, ito yung part of the business, kunyari sabihin natin customer service, and then he really takes on the helm as well. Now if it fails, or if it's not effective, it's not because of anybody else, but the person in charge.
Pero yung sa partnership nyo, how did you decide na ito yung sa'yo, ito yung sa akin?
Awareness again. So, kasi I'm very aware of my work habits, and siya naman, he's very aware of his work habits as well. So, he knew he was more of the daily person that can be there, and I can be the person who will really lay out how we're going to be pursuing it. So, siguro nga, nagtatampo rin sa akin minsan yung staff ko kasi sometimes I'm giving out instructions in the middle of the night or, madaling araw.
Yes.
Pero sometimes this is where it happens. Kasi ako, for me, it happens when I'm alone and I'm like looking at the numbers, looking at the performance, reviewing everything. Tapos, syempre, pag kunyari, bottled up ka na doon, yung parang, kailangan ko nang sitahin to. Minsan sinasabi ko na, bago baka bukas makalimutan ko na. Tapos I'll just go back to it.
Saka when you give instructions, hindi naman kailangan silang mag-reply agad.
Oo naman, bukas pa yan.
Kung madaling araw yan, okay lang yan. Kasi importante, nasabi mo, hindi mo makalimutan.
True.
Diba? Yes.
Diba? And we're very busy.
Yes.
Diba, attorney? I like to think, you're so much more busier than me. So sometimes when we say something, talagang kailangan nalabas mo na. Kasi next time makalimutan mo na. No?
Minsan may mga yung sa mga sa mga bagong entrepreneurs, nalilito sila. Ano ba yung CEO? Ano yung COO? 'Di ba? So ikaw kasi you're the CEO. So ano ba ang role ng isang CEO?
Basically CEO, you overview everything. Actually ikaw yung nag-overview ng all the departments, no? So for me, it encompasses most of the operations as well. No, kasi you can't be just overlooking one part and not looking, kasi it's a marriage between all the departments. So you have to be aware what's your performance when it comes to your marketing, what's your performance when it comes to your sales, how's your HR doing, how's your finances doing.
So you're overseeing everything.
Yes.
Pag CEO pag CEO naman,
pag CEO is more of the operations, the day to day. So the operation, the CEO is what makes the organization work in the everyday things. So, kunyari, sabihin natin, yung mga nagpipick up sa warehouse, yung mga nag-a-answer yung mga staff mo.
Ngayon, yung business, no, di ba, sabi mo, ang naging isang pinaka-main concern nyo is yung pag-i-scale up.
Yes.
So, what did you do? Ano yung mga naging pinlano nyo? Ano yung mga in-execute nyo to scale up the business?
Actually, until now, ito pa rin yung nahihirapan kami sa scaling. Kasi, we're getting into a point na we have enough capital, but there are still a lot of things we don't know and we don't understand. That's why we're actually hiring a lot of people who are smarter than us.
Yes.
So, nakakatawa nga ngayon kasi our finance is actually, she's probably watching us now. She has a PhD pa nga eh.
Wow.
Diba? So, siya yung nag-handle and she brings us this, she processes a lot of things for us. And we understand the need that if these are the things that the big companies are doing, we have to copy it as well.
Yes.
So regardless of how hard the change process can be, we have to adapt it if we want to scale as big as them.
So what is the value of hiring people na smarter, better than you?
Absolutely everything. Everything yan, attorney. Ako nga, I'd like to think when I talk to my staff as well, that ako yung hindi walang alam. Yun yung gusto kong, that's the position that I'm coming from. Kasi, alam mo,
parang lumabas yung ideas sila. Diba?
Oo, and I'm learning so much from them as well. And most of the time kasi, they're in the front lines eh. They're in the trenches. Tayo, we only get what is told to us.
Yes.
No? So, for me, listening is such a skill that you have to develop to be able to really run a business as well. You can't just be throwing out, ano ka lang, ito gawin mo. But you don't really know what's happening. So, yun yung for me.
So right now, how many employees na ang cut?
I think we're still small. We're still small kasi we outsource a lot of our manpower. But I think we're around 12 already. 13, 15 ganyan.
So paano mo i-handle yung mga tao? Kasi sabi mo meron dyan, may PhD ka pa na finance, di ba? So minsan nagiging cause din yan ng debate eh, di ba?
Yes,
So parang sila, they know what they're doing, tapos ikaw yung idea mo is different from them.
True.
So paano mo i-handle yung mga ganyan situation?
So they're managers, no? So this is the beauty about business as well. Kasi to impart trust and to impart yung responsibility, you have to give them a bit of room to work as well, to work their magic. Hindi naman yung mag-hire ka ng tingin mo ay nang mas magaling sa'yo, tapos tingin mo mas magaling ka pa rin.
Oh yes. So,
Kaya ako, sinasabi ko nga, that's why we get marketing people or professionals, because we're not marketing people. That's why we get finance people who are finance people. Kasi ito, how would you think you're better than them when all their life, this is what they study?
Yun ang ginagawa nila.
Ginagawa nila. So you really have to check yourself as well and really humble yourself na, hey, kaya ko nga sila kinuha to be better than me. Ba't sinasabi ko how to do their job? Diba?
Yes, yes.
And you have to give them a room to really work. Yeah.
So yung tulad yan, marketing, di ba?
Yes.
Minsan ang isang business owner, pag nandiyan na yung business, gusto niya siya rin magbibenta. Di ba? Yung mga marketing people, may iba silang paraan on how to do it.
For me kasi naman, ang marketing, ang dami na kasing dimensions sa marketing ngayon eh. Ngayon nga, napopropel ako. Ngayon, may star na yung, may check na yung ko eh. Kasi sinasabi
verified
verified na. Sabi ng marketing ko kasi, I have to expose myself kasi it's founder-led na. Ngayon, the marketing, no? Ako for me, kasi we have different interpretations eh. I always want to, whenever I'm going into something, I want to be data-driven. So, what I always establish when it comes to our marketing team is you have to be data-driven.
Yes.
You can improve something that you can quantify. So, hindi naman pwedeng sabihin sa'yo, ito yung gawin nyo, pero wala kang data to back that up. So you want to be data-driven. Do your demographics, do your SWOT analysis, do your even pati yung polls, yung inaano mo yung market surveys, yun ang surveys mo. You have to know your market.
Yes.
You know. So data.
Oo. Yan, importante yan, data-driven.
Yes.
I think even yung mga mga LGUs, recently yung Quezon City awarded as the most business-friendly na city. And talagang nakita na in everything na ginagawa dito sa QC, in terms of helping the businesses, talagang data-driven lahat. Ano ba yung needs nila? Kasi hindi mo lang yung basta kukunin na wala kang basihan.
True.
Diba? So when you make decisions, you need data.
True.
Okay. So mamaya po sa pagbabalik ng Idol sa Negosyo, aalamin natin yung ano bang iba pang ginagawa ni Enzo Marfal. Paano niya ngayon ginagawa yung work-life balance? And of course, kung ano pa ba yung mga next steps na ginagawa niya to also inspire other entrepreneurs. So abangan niyo po ang pagbabalik natin.
Looking for a job abroad? IPAMS is a DMW licensed recruitment agency offering the best opportunities for Filipinos since 1972. Explore the best job options in various industries and locations abroad. We are a 100% no-fee charging company. This means no placement fees, no processing fees, no salary deductions, no exception. See our jobs at ipams.com and follow us on our social media. Start your career today at iPAMS, uplifting lives.
iPAMS is a trusted recruitment partner since 1972. We offer absolutely 100% zero placement fees, providing Filipinos the best jobs abroad. We're uplifting lives.
Ayun, naging quality time din.
Parang alam na nila yung tama at mali, pero ginagawa mo pa. I'm not saying it's not fun. Himas ka ng himas. Haba nun.
Nakakakulat-lat. The bigger the better.
Tapos in terms of will, delikado! wag lang yung garapal. Ginalay namin yung sa akin tsaka yung sa kanya. Ay, pala yun. So sabi ko, wag!
Kaya mo yan.
Hindi mo kailangan pindutin ng matagal yan. Pag pinitawag yun, agad,
Hindi mo ma-conceive.
Malapit na to, nararamdaman ko na.
Matutuwa ka lang din pagka na-experience mo na siya.
It was quite a ride. Oh my God. Very good, very good. Very well said.
Dito tayo muli sa Idol sa Negosyo kasama si Enzo Marfal ng Angkat PH. So kanina nalaman natin yung mga ginagawa nila sa Angkat, yung struggles, yung kanilang day-to-day activities. So syempre punta tayo sa sa mga personal naman na activities ni Enzo. So as a businessman, 'di ba? So how do you maintain your sanity? Diba? So, work-life balance. So, paano mo ginagawa yan?
Siguro ako for me, integral part sa akin yung being active, no? So, I've actually been part of the rugby community. Ito yung sports, no? For the past more than 10 years already. So, we've established before one of the clubs. Yan. So now we actually own our own rugby club now.
Wow.
So it's called Gorillas Rugby. So most of our students are actually ISM, BSM students.
Okay.
Under 11, under 12, under 15, and seniors team as well. So for me, this is one of my advocacy as well, sports, no? Kasi sports is such a big thing for me. Kasi it gave me a lot of the character and traits to be a businessman as well. So,
iba yung discipline sa sports eh.
And perseverance.
Yes.
Actually, these are one of the things that I look to whenever there's an applicant. Kasi, pag nakita mo na athlete na siya, alam mo na, uy, kaya na nitong, it can go through problems, alam niya na yung perseverance, alam niya na yung grit, alam niya na yung training, yung ganyan. They understand that already. No?
So very active ka pa dito sa rugby?
Yes. So ngayon, it's more of a sponsorship position. It's not anymore a playing na. Kasi medyo, it's a very physical sport.
Yes.
So
parang yan eh. Ng balyahan yan.
Oo nga eh. Kaya nga eh. So when I was a bit younger, I was very active. Ngayon, it's more of really teaching na. Tsaka giving back na.
So paano paano pumasok sa isip mo na ito na I'm into these sports, tapos later on I want to teach and give back?
For me, I think it's a natural progression. For something that has given me so much, ako for me it's only right that I give back, no. And really, the sports of rugby really trained me to to be where I am right now. No? So I know the value that it gives to kids and to people. And actually, this was one of parts of my projects when I was in Rotary.
Yes. So
sports.
nag-Rotary ka rin.
Yes.
And you were a president of Rotary.
I was youngest nga in my club eh. Kasi mas matanda pa yung club ko kasi sa akin.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, kamusta? Kamusta yung, ano ba yung ginawa mo during your term?
The funny thing about it, when I started my term, I was just starting out. That was in 2018. So I was very privileged and honored to really be with a Rotary Club that was really supporting my endeavors back then. So one of my programs talaga, yung key programs ko noon, ay projects noon was really sports. No? So we went to UP, teach kids how to play the sport. And we really, for me, hanggang ngayon, I still do that. No? But with my own club now, in my own club capacity.
Yun yung kagandahan sa sa Rotary na you find your gift, kung ano yung skills mo.
Yes.
Then doon ka mag-start kung paano ka tutulong. Diba? Kasi kung gift mo na yun and mayroon kang kayang i-share from that gift, mapapasa mo yun sa sa ibang generation.
True.
So like for us, no, syempre sa Rotary, meron tayong economic and community development.
Yes.
So tayo mga businessmen, pwede natin gamitin yung ating background para tulungan din yung mga communities to develop their economics, di ba? Yung kanilang pamumuhay.
True. And also, on top of that, attorney, this is the beauty of having a network like Philippine Chamber of Commerce, no, and Rotary. Kasi these are a network of people who already know how to go about it.
Yes.
And it's a treasure trove of knowledge. No, I've learned so much from you and a lot from the people from our Rotary. Kasi grabe, it's something that you can always tap to if you need help when it comes to certain things. Mentors, even colleagues, even people from different industries.
Yes.
No?
Oo. Saka yan, talaga yan. Rotary, PCCI, yan yung ginagawa mo sa rugby. All of these are extra work for us. Pero yun nga, it keeps the balance no? Dun sa buhay natin. Kasi it's not all about business.
True.
Diba? So, kailangan mo rin tumulong.
True.
Diba? Kailangan mo mag-give back.
True.
Yan.
Tsaka attorney, character development. Di ba? Hindi naman pwedeng one-sided ka lang na ito lang yung ginagawa mo. Maganda if you're multifaceted in different things as well, very versed in different things. When it comes to having a network with people who have from different backgrounds, it teaches you so much culture and it teaches you so much things about things you don't know as well, no?
Ngayon, maliban dito sa rugby, sa Rotary, sa PCCI, napansin ko na ka rin active ka dun sa CCF.
Yes.
No, parang meron kang group CCF Ignite.
Yes.
So ano ba tong CCF Ignite?
This is something very close to my heart, no. So CCF Ignite is actually a Christian business leader group. So this is from CCF. And what we do is basically, these are all businessmen as well. Businessmen and businesswomen who are practicing faith-driven entrepreneurship.
Okay.
So when we say faith-driven entrepreneurship, we're aligned with what the Lord wants us to do, and also we're biblically aligned. No.
When did you decide na ipupurso ko tong faith-driven entrepreneurship?
For me, attorney, for the longest time, kasi I've gone on the other side. No? I believe that the world was, ang interpretation ko, kailangan natin minsan mandaya, manglamang, just to get into, para lang to get up, especially when we're working in the Philippines, work around with red tapes now. And what I've understand when it comes to pursuing faith-driven entrepreneurship, that you don't have to compromise your morals and your values. And it's all really about really having an integrity lived life, and also aligned with what the Lord wants you to do. Being in the Lord's purpose and God's purpose for you. No?
So anong ginagawa nyo dito sa parang do you have sessions, seminars?
I'm so lucky to be in this faith-driven entrepreneurship, that we have the first round of mentorship program. So we have this mentorship program where we are matched with mentors who are already successful in their certain field. I was lucky enough to be matched with Mr. Stephen Yu of Sea Oil. There are other mentors like CUC, a lot of people from the industry who are massively successful, and they live a very uncompromised life in that sense. Na it's very faith driven, their approach when it comes to business, and they're very successful about it. You know, which is very inspiring. Kasi the world always tells us that you have to bend to be able to be successful. With this approach, I think I'm more successful now than I've ever been, you know, doing a life that was very, I would say it wasn't very, I wouldn't say honest, but it was very compromising.
Sino nag-invite sa'yo na mag-join dito sa yung CCF Ignite?
Actually, Ignite, it was only kaka-start lang yan last year. No? So, I was lucky enough to be matched by my D group leader. It's called the D group leader. It's a discipleship group. And he put me forward, my name. And I applied to this mentorship program. And luckily enough, out of a lot of applicants, I was chosen. So, and this is a 6 months intensive course. Kaya nga nakakatuwa kasi probably if you were to be mentored by these people, it would probably...
6 months intensive course.
Oo, medyo intensive
And
siya.
how often do you meet?
It's once a month naman.
Once a month. Okay.
Pero
may assignments.
You have to be prepared.
Okay.
Oo. So they go through your business, they go through your systems, they go through your even
They
your numbers
visit your
sometimes.
office.
Yes. Sa amin naman, we were lucky enough kasi we were able to just present how we were going about our business and see how can we make it better. How can we align it with our faith? No? So,
Hindi ka kasi merong iba na takot sila na magpa-mentor.
yes.
And nakita ko sa'yo parang sa journey mo as a businessman, maraming mentors na nakakasama ka, even your partner, di ba? Parang
Yes.
mentor mo na rin siya.
True.
And dito, ano yung value of having a mentor? And paano ka nagkaroon ng courage na kailangan ko ng mentor? Di ba? Sabi mo, self-awareness.
Yes.
Diba?
Yes.
So, ano yung value nun? Kasi para doon sa mga ibang entrepreneurs, hindi nila yung makita eh.
Yes. For me, I saw that firsthand in Rotary. Kasi nakakatuwa sa Rotary, compared to the other organizations that I've actually been invited to, is these people have been already successful, and some of them, they're in their part of their life that they're already, hindi na siya competitive, that they just want to share their knowledge. No? Having mentors inside of my Rotary club itself allowed me to really open up my horizons. So, you know, I think that was the entry point to understanding that these guys are the best in their chosen fields, that I should really listen to them. Now, it really opened myself up to accept even criticism and discipline when it comes to that. Na, hey, you're wrong. Diba? And sometimes for us, that's a hard part. Being told na, hey, mali yung ginagawa mo.
Yeah.
That you're wrong.
Pero how did you choose your mentors? Kasi
Yeah.
siya sabi mo, di ba, self-assessment. Pero not all mentors is parang sila yung tama eh. Di ba?
Totoo yan.
So kanina nabanggit mo, no, meron dyan na magme-mentor, pero when you check their background, wala pala silang experience.
True. So I always say that's always multifaceted when it comes to your mentors. So you can have a mentor when it comes to your spiritual mentor. You can have your a physical mentor even when it comes to sports, diba ganyan. When it comes to business kasi, you have to make sure that it's aligned. Ako for me, more than importantly, it's aligned with your values and with your morals. Kasi you can't just go on looking for a mentor, pero ang sinasabi sa'yo, ito gawin mo. Pero it's not aligned with you. So, ano yun? It's never going to work. Kasi
So
you're not
this
aligned.
time, ang mentor mo nakita mo dito sa CCF Ignite.
Absolutely. No. Yung mentors ko kasi dito, I've seen how they work. They walang inaapakan na tao. The approach is very faith-driven. And where I am in my faith as well, this is how I want to approach it. So, yung value that I was looking for in a mentor, I found it here in the mentorship program.
Saka hindi lang yun, no? Parang nandun yung drive mo lagi to learn. Diba? So kanina parang yun nga, nagpa-mentor ka, tapos sa partner mo, you learn from your partner. And I also read na nag-aral ka din.
Yes.
Di ba? So ano ba yung inaral mo na
Oo.
relevant sa business mo?
Kasi, ayan, actually, advocate ako nito, no? Kasi
Oo.
sometimes a lot of people, they get into these shows, they talk about, a certain thing, but when you actually look them up, they're not really experts at their field, no? So, I had that burden in myself. So, that's why I actually took up supply chain and logistics. So, that's my master's, no? I took it upon myself to be qualified to be able to speak about these things. You have to, of course, hindi lang yung pwedeng diskarte ka lang ng
Yes,
diskarte.
yes.
You have to
Oo.
have a credible background as well.
Oo.
So, that was my master's and it taught me a lot.
Kailan ka nag-masters?
2021.
2021?
Yes. So,
Okay.
swerte naman nun kasi online pa.
Oo. So habang, kasi ang cut is 2020, di ba?
Oo.
So habang nagbi-business ka, nag-aaral ka rin.
Oo. Ano yun? Tsaka, it was, it had its advantages. Kasi, ang advantage naman nun is I was able to implement all the things that I was learning to my business. So, for me, it wasn't, it probably might not be the best for a lot of people. Pero for me that time, kasi ang maganda din sa pandemic, it really allowed you to focus. No? Kasi you're just basically there, wala ka namang ginagawa eh.
Yes.
So why not pursue this?
So yung iba kasi pag nakagraduate na ng college, ayun na mag-aaral. Kasi syempre, it will take your time, tapos
Plus
resources, di ba? So ikaw nag-invest ka.
Oo.
Nag-invest ka sa education. And of course, alam mo na magagamit mo siya dun sa business mo.
Tsaka ano yan, attorney, everything is long term. No?
Yes.
You have to invest. A lot of people, they just think na, 1 year ahead, 2 years ahead, 3 years ahead. Ako, I'd like to think in 5 years and 10 years. Are all the things that I'm learning now, can I apply this 5 years, 10 years to where I want to be? So, yun yung palaging iniisip ko. Am I being the person that I want to be in the next 5 years? Am I the person who I want to be in the next 10 years as well?
Tama. So ngayon, basahin natin yung mga comments sa, sa
sige.
Facebook. So ito, si Barbara, si Bamba Kamaya, sabi niya, super idol sa negosyo, Enzo Marfal. Tapos now watching si Mr. Roy Gelfo. Also watching Jacqueline Baltasar and Grace Balean, Jocelyn Acorda. There's also a comment from Melvir. I think kilala mo rin to si Melvir. Melvir Buela.
Kliyente natin yan.
Sabi niya, glad to be here and to learn about Bro Enzo's journey. Two of the inspiring people and the visionary entrepreneurs for me, Attorney Arnel and Enzo Marfal. Napakagandang message. Kamusta, Melvir? Tapos you also have comment from Jennifer Makatuno. Thank you. I learned a lot. So, marami talaga natutunan ngayon yung ating mga viewers sa mga shinare mo. And si Junicio and Lynn Celis. Yeah, nice one. Thank you very much for your discussion. So, maraming salamat po sa mga sumubaybay. So, syempre, sa ating marami tayong discussion ngayon. Alamin natin ano ba yung mga tips na ibibigay ni Enzo sa mga aspiring entrepreneurs, dun sa mga gusto nang mag-scale up, and of course, dun sa later on na parang dumadaan sa challenges. So ano bang masasabi mo, Enzo? Tips, ano bang tips mo na last words, parting words mo for them?
Ako, since I advocate this so much, it's already hard to be pursuing business or any kind of thing alone, or even with a partner. It's hard. So for me, if you're gonna be pursuing any kind of endeavor, you have to do it with the Lord. And for me, with reading all the self-help books, all these business books, one thing that was really helped me more than anything was reading the Bible. So it talked about business, life, relationships, and everything else. So if I could point people to a business, and ito talaga yung parang tumulong rin talaga sa akin kung paano, how to pursue relationships and businesses, and even, wisdom talaga.
Yes. Napakaganda. When you do your business, have faith. And of course, yan. Tama yan. Magbasa kayo ng,
do it with the Lord.
ng Bible, di ba? Yeah. Magkakaroon kayo ng guidance
True.
on doing things right.
Yes. Also another thing, of course, di ba, with the guidance of the Lord, and also make sure you're doing your due diligence. Due diligence is it's very important kasi ito yung would allow you to make sure that all the things is that you need to be able to pursue your business is there and correct. And making a plan for that, making sure that you have a business plan, making sure your foundations are set, making sure everything is ready for you to be in a position of success, no?
Maraming salamat Enzo sa iyong mga binitawang tips sa ating mga aspiring entrepreneurs. So you do your math. That's very important. Do your business plan. Find a good mentor. So yan ang ating natutunan kay Idol sa Negosyo, Enzo Marfal. So maraming salamat, Enzo.
Thank you.
Ngayon, meron tayong mga paparating na events. Sa November 28, meron tayong AI-powered content creation for business and advocacy workshop from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. And this is via Zoom. So if you want to integrate AI into your business, please attend this workshop on November 28. So yung details po nito mababasa nyo dun sa ating Facebook page, Idol sa Negosyo. And of course, next week, our guest is the co-founder and CEO of Wingyard. So sa mga mahilig sa chicken, next week po, makikita natin si Miss Yvonne, ang kanilang co-founder and CEO. So now, maraming salamat sa ating mga viewers and of course kay Enzo sa makabuluhan na discussion ngayong araw na to.
Thank you, Attorney.
Yan, so magkita-kita tayo muli next week dito, Martes, sa Vantage Point Media from 4:30 p.m. to 6 p.m. So be inspired, achieve business and professional growth, and pay it forward. So magandang hapon po, ito po si Attorney Arnel Mateo at ito ang Idol sa Negosyo.
Bayani ng lansangan, ikaw ay iingatan. Ihahatid ka ng ligtas sa iyong paroroonan. Protektado ka sa mga magigiting na tsuper. Umulan umaraw, masasandalan parang pader. Tayo'y babiyahe tungo sa kinabukasan. Malaya sa sakuna ang bawat daraanan. Ligtas na kalsada, malinaw na pag-asa. Sa BTS, ang partido ng mga bayaning tsuper. Bayani ng lansangan, ikaw ay iingatan. Ihahatid ka ng ligtas sa iyong paroroonan. Protektado ka sa mga magigiting na tsuper. Umulan umaraw, masasandalan parang pader. Itaguyod ang kaayusan sa kalsada. Sasakay ka ng walang anumang pangamba. Karapatan ng mga tsuper ay isusulong. Mga programa na sa kanila'y makakatulong. Dahil kayo'y maituturing din na bayani. Maliit na kita, tuloy lang sa pagsisilbi. Maiangat ang ekonomiya sa ating lipunan. Tagapaghatid sa pag-unlad ng ating bayan. Para na umarangkada sa pag-unlad papunta. Sakay na at sumama. BTS, tayo'y babiyahe tungo sa kinabukasan. Malaya sa sakuna ang bawat daraanan. Ligtas na kalsada, malinaw na pag-asa. Sa BTS, ang partido ng mga bayaning tsuper. Bayani ng lansangan, ikaw ay iingatan. Ihahatid ka ng ligtas sa iyong paroroonan. Protektado ka sa mga magigiting na tsuper. Umulan umaraw, masasandalan parang pader. Pagripaso at paggawa ng mga batas upang ang buhay natin ay umangat naman ng antas. Ang bayaning tsuper ay tayo ring mga Pilipino. Direksyon ng ating buhay, tayo ang nagmamaneho. Benepisyong nararapat ay hindi pagkakait. Solusyon ang tugon sa mga hinanaing. Sa ating biyahe ay walang ni isa ay maiiwan tungo sa maayos na kinabukasan ng ating bayan. Tara na't umarangkada sa pag-unlad papunta. Sakay na at sumama. BTS, tayo'y babiyahe tungo sa kinabukasan. Malaya sa sakuna ang bawat daraanan. Ligtas na kalsada, malinaw na pag-asa. Sa BTS, ang partido ng mga bayaning tsuper. Tayo'y babiyahe tungo sa kinabukasan. Malaya sa sakuna ang bawat daraanan. Ligtas na kalsada, malinaw na pag-asa. Sa BTS, ang partido ng mga bayaning tsuper. Tayo'y babiyahe tungo sa kinabukasan. Malaya sa sakuna ang bawat daraanan. partido ng mga bayaning tsuper.